Hi, my fellow people, all of the earth, wherever you are at this point of time. I know we all are affected in some way or the other at this point of time due to the coronavirus energy. I call it an energy because everything that's happening on earth is ultimately some kind of energy. It's happening for some kind of energetic reasons, causes, purposes, and out of some energetic consequences. So my purpose of this tarot reading is only and only to find some guidance in context of this corona crisis, or you might say a spiritual challenge, or whatever way you like to call it, which is happening on the earth. Whatever we like to call it, there is no denying the fact that it's impacted all of us, and it's something unlike anything that a lot of us might have seen or witnessed in our lives. It almost feels kind of, that you are dreaming, that kind of thing, that this is not real, it feels unreal. So there are some questions which I'm going to be asking, including what might be the spiritual purpose behind this, because everything in the end, everything is for a spiritual reason or to teach us some spiritual lessons. The earth is very wise, the universe is very wise and very neutral, and also finding some answers which can help us deal better with this situation and what is in store for us in the coming few months. So some questions in relation to this coronavirus energy, this coronavirus crisis affecting mankind as of now. So let's get started. Okay, so the first question that I definitely think needs to be asked, and which I definitely feel need to ask, is what is that one spiritual reason because of which the coronavirus has suddenly emerged upon human consciousness like this, the way it has? What is that one main spiritual lesson or lessons that are the guiding force behind the emergence of the coronavirus energy? What is that one lesson for the mass consciousness that is being guided through the emergence of the coronavirus? So what is the spiritual purpose or lesson behind its emergence for all of us as mankind? Right, let's see, 2 cards, and if there's any others that wish to fall out, I will not choose this one. Okay, and it's okay, I'll just choose these cards. All right, so I'll use this one later. I just want to use another deck so to have a more comprehensive story and use them together. So this is a wonderfully intuitive light seers deck. So I asked the same question: what is the one main spiritual lesson, or the spiritual lessons which are the driving force behind the emergence of coronavirus energy suddenly? What is the spiritual lesson that the mass consciousness is being guided towards at this point of time through the emergence of the coronavirus? All right, let me see if there are any others. All right. Okay. Oh. All right, so let me see what these are. The first one is pretty self-evident: justice. It's karmic justice, justice of the universe. This one is 3 of Pentacles, and it's reversed, so it has lessons there. 3 of Pentacles reversed, to do with money and cooperation and resources and cooperation together as human beings in our tasks upon earth. Death or rebirth. All right, and the Hierophant, wonderful. Hierophant is all about spiritual learning. It's about higher learning, higher knowledge. Okay, and then I have the High Priestess. All right, so as per this, what I instinctively, first of all, this is, as I said, a very, very self-evident card in justice. This is happening in order to bring to balance something which had been in imbalance for long, and now the scales of justice are working to bring a greater centering and balance to a lot of things which had been uncentered, which had been going on mindlessly upon the earth. So the force of universal justice or karmic justice or spiritual justice, because justice, the spiritual or karmic justice, is a very neutral energy. So that is the neutral energy. It works to balance. Every time it works to create the balance between give and take, between yin and yang. So a lot of imbalance had been created, and this is here to create some kind of spiritual balance for a lot of things that had been in imbalance or uncentered. The Three of Pentacles is all about healthy sense of competition, healthy sense of cooperation and harmony. When people work together, they create beautiful things, beautiful projects, they give life to beautiful things, and they support each other, not just in their own journeys, individual journeys, but also together in a healthy spirit of co-creation. So when this card has come like this reverse, so it tells me immediately what I feel is that this is also one of the reasons, because there has been a lot of upturned energies, a lot of selfishness going around. People have not really been in the spirit, people, nations, countries, not really been in the spirit of co-creation, healthy competition, healthy support for each other. And this planet Earth and all its resources have been, that we've been blessed with, are there for all of us to make use of, with cooperation, with sharing. So that spirit has been lost. The creation that we can all be part of, in as the most evolved species on earth, if we were to cooperate and coordinate harmoniously, that has been lost since a long time. A lot of it has been lost. So this is for that. Death or rebirth, when this now death or rebirth is, it's reversed again, which means that this, what is happening now, had been long overdue, because there've been lots of faulty foundations, things happening in a haphazard, faulty way, which is not for the highest good of mankind, not for the highest good of mass consciousness, and they have been continuing on nevertheless. And so the cleansing that was owed, the balance that was owed, the newness, the new start, the new beginnings that were meant in the mass consciousness have been stagnant for a long time, because everything is dynamic, energy is dynamic, everything is dynamic. There's a cycle of creation and there's a cycle of destruction. So from all the times, things need to, come to a logical end, come to an end, decades and everything, the way the earth works, everything, every era, everything comes to an end. Ways of thought, ways of working, consciousness, ways of thought process and ways of being, they all come to an end when they become obsolete, and when they are no longer serving the highest good of humankind, of mankind, of people. And this process had been stagnant for a while, which means that when I look at this card reverse, it means that what should have happened, things which should have been sifted away and died away and allowed to become obsolete and let go of long away, those modes of being have unfortunately been held on to, and they've not been allowed to die a logical death in order for restructuring and new fresh energy to have come in. So this is nature's way of just working through and coming in to allow this card to create that ending, which has been long overdue. Seven of Wands, again, Seven of Wands is upside down, the right way up. Again, it's for a higher perspective. Now this way again, it means that there has been long a need for a higher perspective for human beings. They've been indulging probably in mindless actions, a lot of mindless actions for the sake of it, happening around the world, where the end becomes greater than the means which are adopted. And as is always also evident in this card, the spirit of cooperation has been lost. The sense of a higher perspective, something which is for the highest good of all, has been sacrificed in the mindless need of action and selfishness. So the higher perspective has been lost. So this time, this challenging time which has come to is also very much geared to provide, to allow mankind, to allow the global mind, mass consciousness to think from a higher perspective, to put things in the right perspective and see what really matters and where human was really going wrong on a lot of things, even if it's just in the context of things we had been taking for granted, or the lower vibrational emotions and energies which we were giving so much precedence in our lives, and now we've been shown in the right perspective. None of that matters, and we are unified through a common enemy, or through something common which shows us where the priorities lie, which allows us to view our lives and the earth in a new perspective, with a higher perspective, let go of obsolete and petty and little things. So that's what I definitely feel. And the high priestess is, again, I would say, this is all about intuitive knowledge, the knowledge. So this is, I think, the earth somewhere, the high priestess stands for the divine feminine or the yin energies, just like we also have the yang energy or the divine masculine. Now according to justice also, the earth, the consciousness, the energy, the life energy is always about balance. Karmic justice is always about balance, and when this card emerges, it highly speaks to me that it's the earth, the consciousness has had way over balance with masculine, divine masculine energies in the way human beings have been thinking, acting. And it's time for the divine feminine to find its place, to find greater place. These are the forces which allow us to not just look for solutions outwards, to the thinking mind, to the logical minds, to action, either which way, but for answers which come from within us, which come from the core of us, that part of us which is intuitive and which is connected to divine guidance. So this is where we are being guided, because the earth has been in kind of imbalance, where there have been too much divine masculine energies probably, and it's time for the divine feminine energy to be given its right due by way more people than has been happening since the past few years or times. And the Hierophant, again, it's about learning. It's traditionally about spiritual guidance, higher spiritual guidance, because traditionally this is the card of the Pope. But in this context, I take it to mean that this is guiding all of us towards a higher lesson, higher evolution, towards higher learning in the traditional ways, towards getting new lessons, making new, even with context with the high priestess, to get new learning. So this is both seeking new ways of learning which serve us for our highest good now, even if it's from outside, and also learning which comes from inside. So this is definitely a lot of new learning which can open a lot of new ways of living for us, to be open to new learning, to new lessons, towards guidance, towards traditional guidance, towards the right guidance, towards right wisdom from traditional sources of learning, to go back to those traditional sources which have served us well, but also to be guided intuitively for answers, to search not just outside in the outer knowledge, but also to go inwards in our own spiritual reserves to connect with our own selves for all the answers, and help to appraise the vibration of the earth. So this is the kind of guidance. So that was my first question, and I think the answers were pretty interesting and self-explanatory. Now I'll move on to the next question in regard to this issue. Okay, so my next question in this regard is one which naturally bothers all of us, which calls for our attention, and that is, what is the way in which most human beings are being affected? What are the ways in which in which the earth will be mostly affected, or is being mostly affected through this lesson through the coronavirus? So what is the major way in which earth is being or will be affected? What is the aspect? What is the major way in which earth is being affected through this coronavirus crisis, and through the lessons that are being brought forth? So what are the major ways in which the earth and the humans are being impacted or will be impacted through this crisis? Okay. then my other set of cards for greater clarity. Okay, so what is the major way or ways in which human beings or Earth is being impacted or will be impacted through this coronavirus crisis, or the lessons that are being brought through? What are the major ways in which Earth is being or will be affected through this crisis? Oops, I think I'll just do it again. There's just too much energy happening right now, so I'm going to be doing the shuffling again. All right, so we have one here. Okay, let's see if any others come out. Otherwise, we'll just continue with the guidance that we have. All right, okay. So let's see what we have here. All right, the Queen of Swords reversed. Okay. A lot of reversals here. Five of Cups. Okay, so these are the ways in which we are being, the Earth is being impacted. Now the Queen of Swords, Queen of Swords is all about logical approach, balance, and absolute intention, and absolutely being geared towards the highest form of justice, towards clarity, towards neutrality. She's not someone who's so much centered in an emotional approach, so in a very clear-cut, logical, head-centered, mind-centered approach, where the decisions are taken the way they need to be, the way it's practical for them to be taken, and not so much based on emotions or heart or callings of the heart, so to say. So Queen of Swords reversed here shows that some decisions which are being taken, apparently decisions which will be taken or are being taken with the thought that they are being logical and they are being right, and that's how it should be in, during this crisis, no matter in whatever aspects, individually or together as communities or people. So some of them might not really be what's needed. Some of them might not really be what holds the true keys to the answers that are needed. So there might be some loss of compassion in a time when compassion is actually needed. So there might be a bit of selfishness, a bit of capricious energy, and the fairness of the Queen of Swords might actually be lost because this card has come reversed. So this might be a time to also be rooted in the heart, not just in the head. So the Queen of Swords energy here reversed feels like there might be too much of a clinical approach at times, too much of a cold, reasonable logic approach, which might not always be what's needed. So that will happen. Five of Cups now. The Five of Cups is about grief and sense of loss, whatever way, in any aspect of our being, in any aspect of our lives. So the Five of Cups again reversed here would show that either it will come to an end, there will be a way that will be shown out of this grief or sense of loss or separation, or there might be places where there might be contexts where we just so stuck in that sense of grief or loss or pain that we are not allowing ourselves to look at the bigger picture, to look at the lessons, or to look at what is still standing there for us, to look at the blessings that we still have. So the Five of Cups reversed might be about that. So some of us might be facing that, not being able to look at the bigger picture, not being able to look at the bigger blessings that we are being more powerfully guided towards, that still stand in our life, in our grief or our sense of loss and a sense of doom. So some of that which we already are seeing. the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. So these are both cards to do with resources, the resources of the earth, the resources of abundance, the resources which nourish us, nurture us, whether in an earthy way, whether in terms of our financial resources, or our resources of well-being, our resources of security and wholeness. So it seems we will be guided to a more balanced. There will also be context, there will also be energies which will guide us towards a more Queen of Pentacles approach, which means that to have a more nurturing and nourishing approach in connection with our resources. So again, I see this is a feminine energy, more of a yin energy rather than a masculine, divine masculine energy. So again, this speaks of it seems that the earth has become so used to looking at resources in a masculine, aggressive way, in creating divisions and fights over resources and lack of cooperation and selfishness and greed and covetousness, rather than a spirit of cooperation and harmony in the use of the resources which the earth has given us. That there is need for that female nurturing, balanced energy to come in, where it is within context of the resources. So this energy will be ushered in a lot of places. The awareness, the understanding that the resources are meant to create, at the end purpose is to create a nurturing environment, an environment which feels safe for all of us who live on the earth, which nurtures us and which nourishes us and which makes us feel secure and warm and safe and included. So this kind of energy, the right use of resources for comforts which are needed by all. And also Nine of Pentacles, a lot of resources are used by people at times for gains which are not in the highest good of mankind. Wasteful use of wealth, wasteful use of resources, whether it's a personal resources or resources together as countries or nations. So guidance towards even in individual lives of people, knowing what is the ultimate purpose of wealth. The ultimate purpose of wealth is not always chasing more wealth or trying to create more wealth through it, or more restlessness or satisfaction. A lot of times when you have worked hard for something, you should be able to acknowledge what's the purpose of it at the end of it all, that you should be able to sit back and enjoy it instead of always being in a hurry or a rush or a greed for more. So when you have an abundance of things or you've worked hard for, an abundance of security and material resources or well-being in your life, you ought to be able to indulge in things which fulfill you on other levels. Self-actualization, like the self-actualization pyramid, because your basic needs of security have been taken off. So you should be able to indulge in self-actualization activities and things which make you feel more whole, and which should not be put off just for the sake of mindlessly earning more wealth or creating channels which are not for the highest good. So you should be able to sit back and relax with that feeling of security. Be grateful for all that you have been able to consolidate and earn. Be grateful to the universe and be able to sit back and relax and do the things which you have not given priority till now, even though you should have, like taking that break, going on that vacation, or reading those books, or having those little me times, or sitting in your garden and just doing gardening, or getting on that project, on that book writing project, or whatever it is, or just being more finding out a more creating a routine for spiritual practices, or for being in yourself, or being in solitude, of enjoying the nature and just enjoying and sitting back enjoying, knowing that you have all you've wanted to, all you need for security in life, and then you have a right to enjoy other things. And there are other things that matter in life. Money is just a means to those ends. Money is not the end in itself. So all those things, all of these combined energies, from the Queen of Swords reverse to this, will be, so it will be an amalgamation of all these things, which is the way in which earth and people and energies are being impacted and will be impacted through this coronavirus energy. Okay, so now my second last question is, where can the earth or mass consciousness, where can we all as mankind hope to be in the next 3 months in context of this coronavirus crisis currently? Where can we all hope to be within the next 3 months from now. Okay, all right. Okay, so where can we hope to be within the next 3 months in context of this current coronavirus crisis? Where can the earth hope to be? Where can we all as mankind hope to be within the next 3 months? So since the cards are not falling out, I think I'll just draw a card on my own. Let me just do that. Just drawing out a card on my own. Okay. And this one. Okay, so those are the cards I felt guided to. All right. So let's see what we have here. These are reversals. So let me see what these are. 7 of Swords. Oh, that's good. It's reversed. 8 of Cups reversed. That's good. Reversals are good sometimes. 8 of Swords. Wow, look at that. This is the card that fell down. This is the card that picked up. 8 of Swords and 8 of Cups. Okay, this is 8 of Cups, 8 of Swords. So 2 8s we have here. 7 of Pentacles, wonderful. Okay, so this is kind of a picture of where we might hope to stand in the coming 3 months in relation to this coronavirus crisis. Now, the 7 of Swords is all about energies of secrecy and deception, and just keeping your cards close to your heart. Again, not very good for the, not very conducive with the spirit of cooperation and trust and harmony. So it's all about keeping your cards close to you, secrecies, deceptions, or strategies, which it could be, it's usually in a negative context, but could be in a neutral context also. But when this comes reversed, I would like to think that there would be a spirit of more openness and less secrecy, less distrust between the world and the people individually, because they've faced something, they walked through something together, a major crisis in a long time, in modern times. Some of us have never faced this kind of a situation ever before in our entire lives. So this could be a reversal, which means a greater spirit of openness and transparency and clarity, which we even see now, people, nations trying to, sometimes cooperate with each other or share. Everybody is trying to share means and ways, whether on social media or in the medical community or the spiritual community, trying to share what is the best way, what are the best ways to get through this, or what is the best solution, whether it's medical or spiritual or otherwise. So just sharing of resources, sharing of strategies, sharing of taking examples from each other, learning from each other. So more of a spirit of transparency and honesty and clarity. The 8 of Cups reversed is about, again, it's about people which have gone into seclusion. Or the 8 of Cups is about moving into a place of isolation and solitude, and isolation away from all the noise, away from the confusion, away from the crowd, away from the party, to say, which is very much what is happening right now, because people are in a state of isolation and quarantine and in a state of seclusion, in a way that's never been in modern times, in recent times. So 8 of Cups is as I see here in this context, it could have many meanings, but the biggest meaning I see here is coming out of that seclusion, getting ready to come back to the crowd, to come back to the community. And I sense this, as I say this, I sense a wonderful feeling. So this is ending of the seclusion, this is self imposed usually, and this, in this case, of course, it has been self imposed in many ways. As a community or as nations, people have needed to do this. So coming out of that seclusion, slowly getting ready to come back to life, to come back to activity. So this is what it's about after isolation and introspection in isolation, and being in isolation and getting answers in isolation, or doing whatever you were meant to through isolation. So coming back to more of a community kind of thing. Eight of Swords here is in the next 3 months. Again, there will obviously also be feelings of entrapment, because this crisis we have all gone through, and we are still going through as of this point when I speak. So there is this feeling of entrapment when people feel that they are trapped and, you know, caught and blinded, and they do not see the way forward, and there are no clear answers, and they do not know what to do. They do not know how to make the next move. They feel trapped and confined naturally. So this kind of energy is also there, because slowly as this situation improves, there will still be feeling of entrapment and feeling of being confined in different places, also blended with the feelings of coming back out and loosening of the confinement, letting go of the confinement. So all these things will be happening. Seven of Pentacles will be a lot of things which we are doing right now, a lot of things which we are a part of right now, things we have been doing in the past or are doing currently in terms of our response to this situation, or with other things when we are in the middle of this crisis. So they will start to you know, hard work and patience will be rewarded slowly, and we will come to see the effects of things we have been doing right now. We will slowly start seeing the seeds of our efforts right now sprouting, and all those things, even individually, a lot of things which have been put to hold, our own individual lives, our activities, our jobs, our various things. So slowly, whatever we are doing right now, whatever seeds we are sowing right now, they will start sprouting, and things will start looking up once again. So this is the kind of what is likely in the energy within the next 3 months. So not bad. And now my final question would be, of course, which is really important, which is how we all can hope to stay empowered during this time. What is the ideal way in which spirit or nature wants us to stay empowered during this time? Okay, so that what is that one ideal thing? What is that one thing that nature would like us to do or be in order to stay truly empowered and strong throughout this period of the crisis, the corona crisis? How is it that nature would like us to stay empowered? All of us to stay empowered. What is the best thing we can do during this time to stay in our own power and to stay empowered and not feel disempowered, no matter what the fear and the noise and the paranoia? Actually, let me just pick out. Okay, these are sticky. All right, so this one, and then I'll use the other deck, because I'm also going to be using oracle guidance in this last question, because I feel it's time for oracle guidance, definitely. So, all right. So again, the same question: what is it that we can stay at this time in order to stay truly empowered during this time of corona crisis? What would nature, spirit want us all to do or be in order to truly stay and feel empowered? Okay. All right. That's quite a wave. Okay. Let me see. All right. This is what I feel guided I will also draw the oracle cards, because I will then use a comprehensive picture together. So the oracle cards, this is the moon oracle cards. It's really intuitive. So again, the same question: what is it that we can truly do in order to be empowered throughout this period of challenge, the corona crisis? What is it that we can do or be? What energy can we be on in order to stay empowered? These are sticky cards. I'll just pick out one randomly, whichever I feel guided towards. Okay. Okay, this one. All right. And then I'll be using a couple more oracle cards, and then we'll have our most likely guidance to a question which I think means a lot to us, all of us right now. So this is a wonderful ancestral and angelic deck. So I would like to ask the highest and purest realms of our ancestors and angelic guides and spirit guides about what do they think is the highest way for us to stay empowered, for the mankind, for the earth to stay empowered during this time of the corona crisis. What is it that we can truly do or be to stay empowered at this time? There's a lot of energy I feel in the cards. They're like jumping on, literally. I'm going to be using just one, so I need just one. All right. Okay, interesting. This is okay. And now finally the animal spirit cards. So I would like to ask the animal spirit guides of the purest form surrounding the earth, what energy would they like us to incorporate in order to truly feel empowered during this current crisis? What energy should we as mankind incorporate in order to feel truly empowered? What animal energy should we incorporate in order to feel truly empowered during this time of the corona crisis? All right. Okay, so these are the cards that we have here. Let's see. Five of Cups and Justice again. Okay. Okay, this is the second time this one has come. Wow, wonderful, wonderful. I love the Moon card energy. So this is again Justice. See, the second time both these cards have come out in the course of this reading on Corona today. So the Justice card again tells us the way to stay empowered is for all of us to do the right thing as individuals, which also means please do not go around being selfish and hoarding, because those are the kind of energies which bring about imbalance on the earth in the first place, when it's all done as a mass action, when people do indulge in those kinds of things for decades and eons. So please, wherever you get a chance, you are being guided to act fair and just for not just yourself but all others around, your neighbors, other people, part of your community, your state, your other nations. Do not indulge in selfish tendencies, just self-preservation out of fear. Please, there is a way nature will balance you, will be guided to the what's right for you. Please try to honor the values which you know would be right to be honored, which you know you would want another to honor in this time. So make sure that you are working through a place of right and truth and justice from within you, because you will remember that for a long time. How you act right now is very important. So make sure that your actions are not based on lower vibrational emotions or guidance, but they are based on the highest ethics which is possible for you. Of course, it's not easy. There are a lot of times when people are surrounded with fear and a lot of mass panic, but try not to give in. Try to center yourself in spiritual practices. That's the reason we have spiritual practices for, especially for times like these, not just for our daily lives all year round, but for times like these. So center yourself, find your strength, your reserves, your guidance through those practices, to being rooted in things which are not external. That is also one of the lessons, as we read, the High Priestess card. One of the things we are being guided to this crisis, to find answers from within us, and meditation is one of the best ways, not just to be externally focused, but to go inwards, to become more inward looking as a race, as a whole consciousness. So justice, to make sure that your actions are coming from a place of justice and fairness. The Five of Cups is about loss and grief, which of course a lot of us who are facing during this crisis, many people, a sense of doom. So Five of Cups coming here does not mean that you should be indulging in loss and gloom and depression and pessimism and create that for people around. I intuitively get, I feel that what I feel is, just by holding this card, is that please hold space for people who have gone through or are going through a sense of doom or loss, personal loss or pain. Please hold space for them, have sensitivity towards them, and please, all of us, please acknowledge and be grateful for the things, even though a lot of things might have been lost, a lot of things which are still working perfectly harmoniously in the universe and in our own lives. Become more mindful of all the things which are still working seamlessly, because we ignore them, we take them for granted. We are not even mindful for just how much we take for granted each day. Become mindful even in the sense of loss, because this thing will clear away. Better times will come, but be mindful for others, hold space, be sensitively present for them, and learn your own lessons. Learn to acknowledge your blessings, your many blessings, even though you might be finding it hard right now. The angelic ancestral guidance says wait for information. Yes, so it seems some other things, a lot of things might be becoming clear. So just don't jump into making conclusions or into fear-based things. Wait for important information to come to you, whether it's from inside or outside. The outer information you cannot control, but inner information you are always in control of. But for that, you will have to go inwards within your own self and seek answers from that place of solitude and divine guidance. So seek that information, and in the outer realm, wait for the right information. All is yet not clear. It's midway, so wait for right things which will clear things, give a better perspective on things. So both ways. And for animal guidance, we have the sea turtle of protection, so which is so apt, because you are being guided to do the right thing. Obviously, that's common sense. The common sense protection procedures, the common sense things. Don't go out as long as avoidable. Don't be in crowds. Practice confinement at home. Find out time to do things at home. In a spirit of solitude and peace. So wash your hands, and the regular hygiene things. So all the common sense things which it's common sense a right to indulge in. It says you're the master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm, and your path will unfold. Again, this is path will unfold. It reminds me again of wait for important information. Things are still becoming clear. The path is yet not all revealed, so it is happening. Your path will unfold. Persevere and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy. So don't give in to fear. The cosmos knows, the earth knows what is required for the balance. Don't resist. Just go through with it with your strength and being rooted and being grounded through your practices, which should serve you well now, your spiritual practices and your sense and a common sense approach. do whatever it takes to uplift your vibration to a higher vibration of optimism and cheer and peace, and knowing and trusting that all will be well. So you do have everything, even though it might not seem that way. You do have everything to be protected and happy. Don't indulge in paranoia. And the final card is a wonderful, wonderful card which says a new start is coming, new moon. I really get this card. It is a clear indication for you to, know within you, because this is about what you can do to stay empowered right now. So what you can do is, the message from this card is to know that a new start is coming, and this new moon is always usually about good news, new beginnings, start of a new cycle, after all that you've gone through, after all the past. So this new time is coming in. The earth, whatever it's going through to rebalance, whatever it's going through to raise the mass consciousness, a new energy is coming in. New things will happen. Better times are coming in. A new start is coming your way. Just know that, trust that, and allow that to help you navigate. Allow that to be a source of strength. So that was the reading, all for the corona virus energy, and I hope we have received the importance lessons and the guidance through this reading. And of course, as I say, we all can always receive the guidance which is right for us by tuning in and by staying sane and by staying grounded as possible in the highest vibrations possible. So I hope this reading was helpful for a lot of us, and take care. I wish you all so much of wellness, and may you all be surrounded by the deepest and the most powerful, radiant divine energies of protection and well-being, and may you and your loved ones all be able to move towards a newer, fresher, more empowering and more beautiful, harmonious, happier phase. Take care, all of you. Bye-bye.